Okay, so this is 9618. Uh, Question paper is 9618, October, November 2023, variant 2-1, and I'm solving question number 8 right here. Question number 8 says that there is a class of students that are developing a program to send data between computers. There is a class of students and they are developing a program. The function of that program is to send data between two computers. Many computers are connected together to form a wide network. It means that there are many computers that are connected together and they have formed a wide network. Serial ports are used to connect one computer to another, and they are using your serial ports. Each computer is assigned a unique three-digit ID. It has three ports as well. Three unique three-digit ID. It has three ports as well, identified by an integer value. It is connected between one and three other computers. Okay. Messages are sent between computers as a string of characters organized into fields as shown. First of all, you have your field name STX, then you have your destination ID, then you have your source ID, then you have your data, and then you have your ETX, that is your single character that is marking the end of the message. So this is the sequence that how the messages are being sent between the computers as a string of characters. Now, for example, the following message contains the data "Hello Kevin" being sent from computer 101 to computer 232, like 23101. Hello Kevin. Each computer will run a copy of the same program. Each program will contain a global variable. The my ID of data type is string that contains the unique ID of the computers in which the program is running. The programmer has defined the first two program modules as follow. Write a pseudocode for module send file. Assume module transmit has already been written and is used to transmit a message. The value of my ID is being used as a source ID. The field contains no black lines. The field specified does not contains no asterisks. And that I need to write the module for send file. Here it is the send file. First of all, it says that takes three parameters. That is a string containing a text file number, string containing a destination ID, and integer containing a port number. Transmit the file one line at a time and transmit a final message with the data string. So this is not returning any of the message. So that means that this has to be a procedure. So I'm going to start it by like procedure send file. And what parameters do I need to take? A string containing a text file name and destination ID and your port number. So this is going to be your file name and destination ID. What is the data type? The data type is a string, so I have selected the both of them into the same way, and your code should be assigned as integer. Okay, so I need to transmit the file one line at a time, and I also need to transmit a final message. So that means that I should be having some sort of data as well that has to be transmitted. which I'm going to call as the file data. So let's also declare that. Declare file data as strings and I also need to declare some of the values, which is stx, etx, etx ASCII value is 3, and stx ASCII value is 2. That is a single character marking the start of the message and a single character marking the end of the message as per this example. So I am also going to have it like constant stx as the character value, and the value given was 2, and constant etx value, and the value given was 3. And now I'm going to implement my file handling. So I'm going to open my file, and the name of the file is going to be the file name, as the parameter is already taken right here. First of all, I'm going to open it for read, and then I'm going to apply end of file, since all of this is included into your file handling part. And first of all, I'm going to read file, that whatever it is in your file name and your file data. But what your file data should be, your file data should be whatever the value is in your stx and your destination ID and my ID and whatever is in your file data and etx. That is your syntax right here. STX, destination ID, my ID, file data, and ETX. That means that whatever the value it is going to be stored right here. And now in the last, I'm going to call it with the correct string in a loop called transmit, because it is already mentioned into a question that this module has already been written. I am not requested to write this. However, I need to call this as well. So this is going to be call transmit, and the data that has to be transmitted is going to be your file data and the port, like from which port it is going. And then it is and while close file, whatever the name is your file. I have taken name right here, and in the last you can call transmit with all of the values stx, destination ID, my ID, and those stars, and etx and port and your and procedure. That means that this message should be present in this loop when you are transmitting it. So do you have any problems in this?
नहीं, इसमें तो कोई इशू नहीं है.
In the B part, it says that module send file is used to copy a file from one computer to another. There is a module that is named as send file. It is used to copy a file from one computer to another. A module within the program is running on the destination computer will receive the data and write it to a new file. Okay. Explain why the module send file. Transmit the message with the data string asterisk after last line of that. So it is basically transmitted because it refers to that your file is being closed or there may be the end of the file. So I can write here that it is used because it indicates that all the lines of the files have been sent for 1 mark, and for the second mark it represents the end of your transmission or file or whatever you want to write here. One of the text line to be sent contains several blank lines that does not contain any text. Explain why this happens. The problem is that it is already mentioned into the question that whenever there is a message that contains black lines, that means that there is no way that that message can be sent. So I can write here that a message that may contain zero length data. That means that it has no data. Zero length data. It cannot be sent. Explain how the message format could be changed to allow a blank line to be sent. Uh, for it to allow to send a black line, I can say that it can change the message protocol. Like for example, I can add any additional field, or I can even interpret a new fields into that. So that this is the way that I can change it. So your black lines can be sent as well. Because the question is that only if you have a black line, you cannot send it. But if you can change that by adding additional fields or by adding additional indicators, that means that this is the way that you can send it back again. So I can write that changing the message protocol and using an additional fields to obviously interpret your data. Now, in the last part, it says that a new module has been defined. The name of the module is getField, and getFields takes two parameters, a string containing a message and integer containing a field number. If the field number is valid in the range of 1 to 3 inclusive, it returns a string containing the required field. Otherwise, it returns an empty string. As a reminder, a message is defined as follow. This is the message. These are the details of that. It is requesting me to write the pseudocode module for get field. So let's check this. First, is it returning a value? Yes, it is. That means that this is going to be a function. What are going to be the parameters? A string containing a message, for example, message that has the data type string, field number that is going to have a data type integer and returns strings. Because if the field number is valid in this range 1 to 3, it returns a string containing the required field. Otherwise, it returns an empty string. And as a reminder, ASTX is a single character marking destination ID, a variable length, and this. Function, what is the name of the function? Get field. Function get field. and message should be set as string, and field number should be set as an integer, and it should be returning a string as stated into the question. What I want to declare right here can be I'm basically here extracting some part of that. I'm getting the field. So it returns a string containing the required field. Otherwise, it returns an empty string. So I need to declare here the name for your empty string, that is reset string, and the data type for it is definitely going to be a string. And now I now the question says that if the field number is valid in the range of 1 to 3 inclusive, that means that I am right here going to implement a case. Like for example, if your case number is 1, then it's okay. If your case number is 2, then it's okay. If your case number is 3, then it's okay. But just in case if it's not the case, then returns an empty string. And this is what I have implemented right there. So in case number 1, what I'm going to do with my reset string is that I'm basically getting a field, and a single character mark field. Case of field number 1, 2, 3. Reset string should be declared as the middle value of whatever your message is going to be, starting from with the positional value 2 is to 3. Reset string middle value of whatever your message is, getting it from 5 to 3, and resetting your string with the middle value of your message 8, but the length of your message should be deducted by -8. And just in case if nothing like this happens, then otherwise your reset string should be declared as a null. And case returns reset string and function. So basically in this question, I'm using a case of otherwise case, and I am extracting field 1 and 2 and then calculating a length of field 3. So if field 3 is extracted correctly, it's fine, but just in case if it's not, I'm returning it to the null value, and I am ending this function. But there is a question right here, that is that why I have used this middle message 2 is to 3, middle message 5 is to 3, and middle message 8 length minus this. So do you have any ideas regarding this?
सर कैन यू रिपीट द क्वेश्चन?
Hmm?
आप क्वेश्चन रिपीट कर देंगे?
Better, the question is that all of this part is already given into the question, and I have proved that as well. The only question is that why I have mentioned this.
आपके जो मैसेज पे लाइक सेकंड पोजीशन से थर्ड वो आ रहा है, थर्ड जो भी नंबर्स हैं वो लाइक नेक्स्ट थ्री नंबर्स
Yes, I
एंड देन
am.
फाइव से नेक्स्ट
Yes, yes,
थ्री
yes, yes.
नंबर्स.
That's accurate. I am extracting the message. So that is being sent. The message that is on 2 is to 3, the message that is on 5 is to 3, and the last message that is on 8. This is also stated into the question as well, that I am extracting the field at their positional values. So, do you have any queries in this?
नहीं, इसमें कोई इशू नहीं है.